Hello everyone, and welcome today to this audio podcast, audio podcast synopsis, this audio podcast synopsis as part of the Bookish sort of audio podcasts, and this audio podcast as part of a ZtormLabostix production. In this audio podcast synopsis, there'll be there will be a look at sort of several publications, publications in looking at the research gap and approach, and the research sort of looking at research question and the research question and strength and limitations of several publications by Mohammed and team, and where some of the publications form peer-reviewed publications, and some publications are in the form of research poster presentations, and book chapter publications as well. So in this audio podcast synopsis, as part of the Bookish, and as part of ZtormLabostix production, the publications the publications will look into works such as essay works, early essay works from Mohammed in around 2015, looking at a POCT, point of care testing, and looking at a collaboration between scientists and pharmacists, looking at a publication, or also a publication looking at a research poster from around 2017, looking at the need to consider renal health in transfusion care and research to inform best practices, a research poster presentation that have been put forward as a presentation for the BBTS, the British Blood and Transfusion Society, and then looking at a publication from 2019, using social media and mainstream media to prompt solid organ transplantation education, and looking at it from a science perspective, and and then a publication that looks at the literature, a publication by Mohammed and Christine from in around 2022, and looking at an overview of health inequalities, health equalities, and kidney care for all, and then a research poster presentation from 2022 by a research poster presentation by Mohammed and team from 2022, a research poster presentation that had been put forward for the International Pediatric Transplant Association, and then a second research poster presentation by Mohammed and team in 2022, and a research poster presentation that was put forward for the International Pediatric Transplant Association, and then a third research poster presentation a third research poster presentation by Mohammed and team. Mohammed and team from looking at where the research poster presentation looks at works that was again put forward for the International Pediatric Transplant Association, or IPTA 2022, and then a publication, another sort of research poster presentation by Mohammed and team, looking at chemokine and chemokine receptors, and looking at immunobiology and laboratory laboratory practices, and a research poster presentation that had been put forward to UKKW 2023, and then a Springer chapter publication. Springer chapter publication. A Springer being a pathology pathology book series, and the publication is by Mohammed and team from 2023, and then a research poster presentation by Mohammed and team in around 2024, a research poster presentation that was put forward for UKKW 2024, and then a look at works by Mohammed and team from 2024, 2025, and a Springer a sort of a subsequent Springer book chapter publication on works looking at decolonizing chemokine and chemokine receptor expression in acute allograft rejection, and then finally in this audio podcast in this audio podcast series, as part of the Bookish and as part of a ZtormLabostix production, a look at a publication or works in on an exposition on stratified receptors and the idiosyncrasy surrounding early transplant immunobiology, sort of a contemplative perspective, and the publication where the publication is by Mohammed and colleague in around 2025 for 2024 2025. So that draws this audio podcast overview to a close. This audio podcast is part of the Bookish. This audio podcast is part of a ZtormLabostix production.